A WWE chairman, Vince McMahon, likes things done a certain way, and when matches or promos don't live up to his expectations, he's prone to get a little frustrated. When the superstar or superstars involved in the particular match or promo return to the backstage area, Vince in the past has verbally berated them to show his anger and disappointment. But which times were they? Well, join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 times Vince McMahon verbally berated a WWE superstar. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10. Seth Rollins. In 2014, WWE began to position Seth Rollins as one of the top heels in the entire company. Rollins would turn on the Shield and subsequently win the Money in the Bank briefcase, but during this time period, a certain match that Rollins was involved in deeply upset the chairman. This was a match that Rollins had against talented WWE star Kofi Kingston, and the issue was that Kofi got far too much offensive during the match itself. The initial script for the match called for it to be virtually a squash match, with Rollins looking as strong as possible. Vince wasn't a fan of how much offense Rollins gave Kofi in the match, so much so that when Rollins got backstage following it, Vince verbally ran him down. According to Rollins, whilst appearing on Edge and Christian's podcast, things got pretty intense. Rollins revealed, "Vince was furious about it, like furious. Just get over here." And he's yelling at me and he's like, "If you're gonna be my guy, you're gonna be my guy. That's not what I want." Number 9. Michael Cole. Now, it might be common knowledge that Vince McMahon has a habit of yelling at Michael Cole through his headset. However, when Cole stepped into the ring at WrestleMania 27, he faced the Cole wrath of the WWE chairman. Cole would wrestle Jerry Lawler in without a doubt one of the worst WrestleMania encounters of all time. When Cole came to the backstage area, Vince berated Cole in front of everybody by calling the match the worst thing he's ever seen. Cole actually admitted that he thought the match went well, so he was rather taken back that the chairman wasn't a fan of his infamous pay-per-view debut. Number 8. Kevin Owens. One of the top matches on the WrestleMania 33 match card saw Kevin Owens face off against Chris Jericho for the US title. Although the match didn't steal the show, it was a fun match which certainly belonged on the WrestleMania card. But when Owens went to the back following his victory over Jericho, Vince was extremely cold towards him and wanted nothing to do with him. This clip was seen on the WWE Network Series 365, which followed Owens for a full calendar year. According to Jericho, what the clip didn't show was how Vince verbally laid into Owens with a verbal tirade. Jericho stated that Vince informed Owens that he hated the match and it was one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. Damn. Number 7. Kevin Thorn. Now, sometimes in WWE, a match can go so bad that Vince McMahon just doesn't berate a wrestler, he gives up on them altogether. In 2007, on the revamped edition of ECW, Kevin Thorn was wrestling James Curtis, and there was a certain botch in the match which angered Vince so much. According to Thorn himself, when he got backstage, he was chewed out by the chairman. According to Thorn, Vince was absolutely furious with him, not just for the botch, but also for wrestling like The Undertaker. Thorn believed that he was supposed to be wrestling like The Undertaker in the ring, but that clearly wasn't the case. Following Vince's verbal outburst, Thorn would just have 2 more matches on WWE television, including one with a completely new presentation. Following those 2 matches, Thorn would be moved back to FCW as Vince clearly believed that the young star wasn't ready for the big time. Number 6. Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is one of the most talented wrestlers in the entire WWE. However, during his earlier days, he was prone to going over his allocated time length in matches, and this led to Vince berating him backstage on a number of occasions. During a 2019 interview with TalkSport, the former world champion revealed, "Of course, as much as I brag about being great, I've been yelled at a million times because you either went the wrong direction or did something or went heavy on time. Something along the lines of, this isn't the Attitude Era, you can't just go as long as you want out there," with some yelling back and forth between us. Thankfully, Ziggler appeared to stick to his time limits in the future, and the relationship between him and Vince would be much stronger in the years that followed. Number 5. Braun Strowman. Vince McMahon likes to micromanage everything about the WWE product. This extends to every word that is delivered in his promo. In 2017, Braun was delivering a promo when he referred to himself getting a title shot when the scripted phrase was title match. Now, this error seemed trivial, but to Vince, it was a huge deal. According to legend Mick Foley, Braun was yelled at extensively by Vince backstage for the small blunder. Foley admits that Vince was clearly overreacting, but it may have been made for interesting viewing to see someone of Braun's size get chewed out by Vince himself. Number 4. Shinsuke Nakamura. On the first August 2017 edition of SmackDown, a dream match occurred as John Cena went one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura for the first time ever. Although the match was well received, it's mostly known for an exploder suplex which saw Cena land on the back of his neck. This incident reportedly led to a lot of anger and frustration backstage, especially from Vince, who was reportedly furious with Nakamura once he came through the curtain. According to reports at the time, it was actually Cena who de-escalated the situation and calmed the chairman down. Number 3. Ric Flair. One of the most infamous promos of 2007 was a promo exchange between Ric Flair and Carlito. In this promo, Flair would lay into Carlito, Flair would call Carlito lazy, and he would comment on his lack of passion for WWE and would state that Carlito is lucky to be employed. 10 minutes before this promo aired, Flair was actually berated directly by Vince McMahon backstage for similar subjects. Flair just wrestled a match against Jeff Hardy and Vince hated it, as Flair revealed that Vince was absolutely furious with the wrestling legend. During an interview with TalkSport, the 16-time world champion would reveal, "What happened was I got my ass chewed out by Vince McMahon literally 10 minutes before that. Vince chewed my ass out and told me I needed to lead by example, not to worry about what I was doing, that if he was worried he would take care of me. But he had just worn my ass out. I walked back to the locker room and Bruce Pritchard was there and he said, 'We needed to do this promo.' I said, 'No problem. That's the truth. There was no script, and I gave him everything Vince gave me and more.'" Number 2. Mickie James. Mickie James vs Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 22 is considered to be one of the best women's matches in history, but a claim aside, the match did actually cause quite a bit of controversy. The controversy surfaced when Mickie performed a gesture during the match, which wasn't in the initial script. When Mickie went backstage following a major victory, she was screamed at by Vince McMahon for going off script. Whilst discussing the match on WrestleCast, Mickie would reveal, "I came back through the curtain and Vince was really mad. In the moment, it seemed amazing to me. I thought, Vince will love this. Crass was the word I got. He didn't like it at all. He told me, we're gonna have to go back and edit that out. Do you know how much time this will take? This was my first WrestleMania. My mom was in the audience. I'm freaking out already. I'm back through the curtain and I'm already in tears and an emotional mess. And I got yelled at." And number 1. Brock Lesnar. The main event of WrestleMania 34 saw Brock Lesnar face off against Roman Reigns. The match was considered to be one of the biggest disappointments in WrestleMania history, as the crowd turned on it and had no interest in seeing the main event match. The crowd hijacked the match with chants of "This is awful," and at one stage they even began to play with a beach ball. The crowd reaction absolutely irritated Lesnar. It's unknown how Lesnar reacted to being berated in that manner by his boss, but it was rumored that another heated argument between the two followed, and it was even reported that Shane McMahon was involved in some capacity, which implies that things got extremely heated. But there you have it folks, 10 times Vince McMahon verbally berated a WWE superstar backstage. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.